Hello. Hi, everybody. Gosh, it kind of looks like I'm sitting here in the dark. Let me open this thing. Give me a second. I get to see some background of Kemper life. Okay, there. That's much better. More light. All right. Very good. How are y'all doing today? I see there's a few people here already. Let me know where you are. Let me know who you are. Oh, Mary's here. Hi, Mary. See a few more people on here. All right, good. So today, I'm going to just talk for a minute, a little bit of an introduction before we actually get started. So, I'll introduce myself. I haven't done that in a little while. My name is Linda. You maybe know that already. Okay, Mary's in Oklahoma City. Amy's here. Hi, Amy. My name is Linda. I teach yoga. I have taught yoga. Suzanne's here. Oh, I'm still working on pronouncing your name correctly. Shuzan, is that better? Maybe. I've been teaching yoga. Yesterday, somebody asked me how long have I been teaching yoga, and I had to stop and think for a minute. I've been teaching for about 13 years, I think, and I've been practicing yoga for like 22 years, something like that. Yeah, long history with yoga. Anne is here. Hi, Anne, in Chicago. Wonderful. Good. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm in, where am I? I'm still in the Sedona area. I'm in a town called Camp Verde. We're going to be here until tomorrow. Tomorrow we move to, where are we going? Santa Fe. So I'll be in Santa Fe for a couple of weeks. But today's Friday, and it's time for the live stream that I do on Fridays. So today I have an interesting topic that has come up that's been inspired by some questions and comments that I've received, under my videos, and then like messages I receive through Facebook and through email and stuff like that. And it's about what I will and won't teach on this channel. So this is, I don't know, when we have these kind of topics, I find that I speak slowly because I want to make sure to say things in the right way. You know what? Before we start and get into this topic, give me just half of a second here. I'm going to go turn off the AC because it's super loud. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And hopefully it's quieter. Okay, so the topic for today is what I will and won't teach here on my YouTube channel. So where do I begin? There are some things, there's a lot of content that I do put on my channel. I don't even know how many videos are there. There's a whole bunch of content. The purpose of my channel is to provide introductory, appropriate, let's see, haven't found the right words yet. Introductory level, like a practice that is accessible and appropriate for people who are getting started with yoga, especially for people who have tried yoga in the past and had a poor experience for one reason or another. These are the folks who I most want to serve with my channel. So some of y'all who have been practicing with me for a long time, you were at that stage when you got here, but now that you've been practicing a long time, you've advanced in your practice and you're starting to ask for more things. You're starting to ask for next level instruction, more detail, going deeper into your practice. And, and if you're one of these people who's requested something and I've not responded, this is probably why. It's difficult for me to find, how to say no. And I think that, after reflecting on it for a while, I've figured it out, and the way to say no is to tell you what I can put on here and what I can't put on here. So some things that are appropriate to put on here, Jazzy Skies. Oh, hi. Let me read this real quick. I love watching your videos, and plus it makes me feel great, and I am beginning, and I did yoga a long time ago, and it hurt so bad, and your videos feel great. Thank you. That is such a perfect comment right now. Thank you, Jazzy Sky, for saying that. And it just, really reinforces what I mentioned just a minute ago, that the main purpose of my channel is to help people get started with yoga. And then once you get started, once you know how to modify and make the practice work for you, then you have lots of options. You can go to your local yoga studio if you want to. You can continue practicing with me, and I'll tell you all the different kind of ways that you can practice with me and get the more advanced level instruction that I don't put out publicly on my channel. So where was I? I was telling you about, the main purpose of the channel is for this introductory level content so that people can begin to practice yoga. Things that I've kind of hesitated or shied away from putting on my channel. You might have noticed that I put an introduction to pranayama video on my channel, and then I never added any more videos about breathing on the channel. There's a reason for that. It's okay to teach introductory level breathing. I can put it out there. I don't know who's going to receive it, but what I put on that video is safe and appropriate for just about everybody. When we start to get into deeper level breathing practices, we have to be careful. Breathing should be taught under the guidance of a teacher. And so there are certain breathing practices that are beneficial for certain people. Those same breathing practices might be harmful for other people. So I feel it would be irresponsible for me to put a whole lot of breathing up on the channel because I don't know who's receiving it. I don't know, who's going to see it, who's going to consume it and practice it, and may practice something that will end up causing them harm. So that's why I don't put a lot of breathing up on the channel. If you're interested in breathing practices, I would be happy to work with you. You can, probably for breathing, the best thing would be to work with me one-on-one so that I can, get to know you better and know, all about your health, different issues that you may have going on. Sometimes we have issues going on. I don't know, not to get too complicated, but it may be like if you have, for example, diabetes, certain breathing practices may be correct. But if you also have had cancer, then that eliminates some breathing practices. So I have to look at the whole picture of the person to be able to, know which breathing practices are appropriate for you, which ones to suggest for you. Let me stay on this topic for just a minute because this is a little bit of a tricky one for me to find words for. So that's breathing practices. Meditation falls along the same lines. I feel like I've been talking about meditation a lot lately. It's very popular in Western culture. If people are stressed out, if they're not sleeping well, if, whatever, you have had any kind of stressful situation going on in your life, people say, oh, you should meditate. Go meditate. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to sit under this tree and meditate. The Western perception of meditation is not the same as the traditional perception of meditation. So I'm going to just take a minute here to kind of give you a little bit of background information about the 8 limbs of yoga, and then it'll start to make sense what I'm telling you about meditation. So in yoga, there are 8 limbs. So we have, 8 things that we practice in yoga. People often don't even know that there are 8 limbs of yoga. Typically, people just know about asana. Asana is actually the 3rd limb. So in yoga, we have these 8 limbs. The first 2 are yama and niyama, and these are principles, philosophies about how to live. They include things like that we should be truthful, that we should not steal, that we should practice cleanliness, that we should be moderate in our activities, these kind of principles. They teach us how to be good humans. Those are the first 2 limbs of yoga. After that, we have asana, the physical yoga practice, which is what you see, in magazines, in movies, on my YouTube channel. The physical yoga is the 3rd limb of yoga. The physical practice is what I meant. The next limb of yoga is breathing practice, pranayama, that what I was just explaining a minute ago. And I'm going to pause right here before I continue to explain that these kind of do go in order. They're kind of meant to start in the beginning and, progress through toward the end. Sometimes it's necessary to go back and re-practice something, or sometimes we're practicing 2 or 3 things at the same time. Okay, so we have yamas and niyamas, the principles about how to live. We have physical yoga practice that we learn how to do next. After that, we're prepared to start working on breathing practice. After that, the fifth limb is called pratyahara. Pratyahara has to do with your mind and your senses. And what it teaches is it teaches you how for your mind to be in control of your senses. And I realize that may not make sense right off the bat, so I'm going to explain in a little bit more detail. You know how if you go to the grocery store, and especially if you go to the grocery store to do your shopping and you haven't made a plan, you go through the produce section and you say, oh, that broccoli looks really nice, let me grab that. And oh, that whatever, watermelon looks good, let me get one of those too. And I'm going to get some lemons, they look so nice. And you just, whatever your eye is attracted to, you grab it and you throw it in your cart. Same thing might happen if you go to a shopping mall and you are walking through the hallway and you see, oh, this shop has a lovely dress. Let me go there and look at the dress. Oh, look, this shop has nice shoes. I'm going to go see the shoes. And you're just bouncing and bouncing around because your senses are in control of your mind. Pratyahara teaches how for the mind to be in control of the senses. And it's a practice. You don't sit down and learn pratyahara. You begin to learn it through your yamas and niyamas, through your asana practice, through your pranayama practice. But if you've been practicing for a while, you might start to realize that you're learning to focus your mind in such a way that you're able to turn off your senses being attracted to so many things, or at least turn off your response to your senses being attracted to things. I realize this is kind of perhaps a difficult concept to understand. If y'all are getting it, let me know, because I know this is, not something that people typically think about on a regular basis, but this is part of yoga and part of yoga philosophy, and it's helping me get to the point of meditation. So that was pratyahara, learning how to be its compulsion mind controlling. Yes, yeah, it's learning how to control compulsions, which are related to our senses. It could be a sense of sight or a sense of smell, like, oh, I smell that delicious cake baking in the oven, I have to eat some right now. Then your sense of smell is in control rather than your sense of mind being in control. I'll try to not elaborate on that too much because I can go on forever. I think it's a really important skill set to acquire, especially for those of us who are really interested in yoga and not just the physical benefits, but also the mind benefits. So that's pratyahara. That's what that is. Then, okay, perfect. Very good, very good. I'm going to come through and read all the comments here in just a minute. Pratyahara. After that, we have 3 more limbs. These limbs are all related to meditation. The first one is called dharana. Dharana is about how when you learn how to focus for an instant, for 1 second, for just a tiny little bit of focus, learning how to pay attention for a little bit of time. The second one is called dhyana, and dhyana is about being able to have sustained focus. So you can sit and focus on your breathing, and you can actually be present and paying attention for the whole duration of your inhale, for some little period of time, and you can start to stretch that out over time. And then you might guess what the last one is. The last one's called samadhi, and samadhi is really what meditation is. It's being able to sit or stand or whatever and keep your attention on one thing for a long period of time. You're so in tune with that thing that it's everything to you. There's no other stuff going on in the world. There's just that one thing that you're meditating on. That's the only thing that exists in your mind. So that's what meditation is. And you can see you probably can see how that is very different from the Western perception of meditation. For example, people often say, oh, I'm not sure I'm going to go meditate on that for a while. That's not a real classical, traditional example of what meditation is. Meditation is being able to concentrate completely focused on one thing. When you're thinking about something, you're thinking through different things. So it's not just one thing. So we can't meditate on a problem that we're having. Okay, so that was a long backstory to explain why I can't teach meditation on my channel. I can't teach you meditative practices. It's something that will evolve through your practice. It's something that I could guide you on, but as you can imagine, that would be something that would need to be very customized and personal. I can't, I would feel irresponsible if I would put out meditation practices and not know who was receiving them and whether or not those kind of practices were appropriate for the people who are seeing them. Okay, so y'all see where I'm going here about the things that I'm comfortable sharing on my channel and the things that I feel are not appropriate to share on my channel. And if you have questions about any of this, or if you have questions about, whether, like if you have like a request of, can you make a video like this or like that, you can ask me here and I can think about it for a second and I'll give you an answer about whether or not I can create it. I'm going to take a pause here before I continue with this topic to look at these comments. Would have been good if I brought my glasses, but that's okay. I'll just get closer. Denise says, I've been practicing the 7 and 20 to 1 day challenge videos and loving them. Great. They are helping with stress and mindful eating. Thank you. Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm going to pause here and drink some water. And that reminds me, when you say mindful eating, that kind of, again, leads into this topic. People often ask me if I can make yoga for weight loss videos. And I have all kinds of thoughts about this. Weight loss, again, it's very personal to each individual person and whatever issues are causing them to be at a weight greater than what they want to be at. And really, all the yoga practices, at least the ones on my channel, are beneficial for people with all kinds of bodies. So if you, want to practice yoga, if you are interested in losing weight, do any of the videos on my channel. When we practice yoga, like I was just explaining about the 8 limbs and all the, the pratyahara and all of that, the physical yoga practice, the way I teach it at least, is going to help you learn how to be more aware of your body, have better self-awareness, so as you have better self-awareness, you have better awareness of, for example, your eating, like Denise is mentioning about the mindful eating. As we become, it's kind of like a twofold thing here. As we become more aware of our bodies and how they feel, we can be more aware of the foods that we eat and how those foods make us feel. And also, the second part of that is that as we learn to train our minds to be focused and present, we learn how to be focused and present when we eat, which is a super valuable tool. I'll give you my personal example from my breakfast this morning. I have a whole bunch of stuff to do today. I have this live stream. I had some calls with some of my patrons this morning. I have to record my yoga for back pain informational series that I'm doing for, that I'm publishing during the month of May. Anyway, a lot of stuff going on this morning. And my kids are here, and of course, and they have school, so I'm overseeing that, and my husband's there, and he's working. And so typically I cook for everybody. And this morning I was late making breakfast, and so I was really hungry, and I was thinking, gosh, I've got all these things to take care of, and so let me make some quick breakfast. So I made the breakfast kind of quickly. I was chatting with my team at the same time, not being mindful, and the breakfast was ready. And I made my tea and I sat down and I started eating it fast. And I was like, wait a minute, what am I doing here? Hold on, let me slow down. Actually, my tea wasn't ready yet. So I got up, I went and made my tea so that I could have it with me, because the whole meal together tastes more delicious if I have the food and the tea and I stop and go slowly and eat one bite and notice what it tastes like and what it feels like, and have some tea and I can notice the warmth of the tea, the strength of the tea that I brewed, the aroma of the tea. And when we eat mindfully like that, the meal is so much more satisfying. We tend to eat less when we fully appreciate the food. So, I'll give you another example about mindful eating, that when I'm at home, I feel more stressed than when I'm living in my camper. And at home, I often find that I eat quickly and don't realize when I'm getting full. And when I'm tired, instead of resting, I reach for food for more energy, more fuel, right? So all of that are, examples of like not eating in the right way, not eating mindfully. I don't know, I should have maybe given you the examples in reverse so that we could have ended with a positive example. But anyway, these are kind of like the two sides of the coin of mindful eating, of how we can eat in an unmindful way and what that looks like. And you can imagine the effects it has on your body and on your mind. And then the effects of mindful eating and how we appreciate and enjoy the food more. From a yoga perspective and an Ayurvedic perspective, we believe that we actually get more nutrition when we eat in a mindful way. And then if you're eating mindfully, going back to the idea of yoga for weight loss, we tend to eat less when we're eating in a mindful way. So thank you, Denise, for mentioning that about the mindful eating. It's so powerful. And it's not something that we purposefully set out to learn when we practice yoga, but it's something that we just naturally learn as we're doing our asanas and our breathing. Okay, good. Let me keep reading comments here. Aisha is here, and Aisha says, your videos are great. Good. Yay, I'm glad you enjoy them. I watch the videos for plus-size people, and I love them. My breathing has improved, and I enjoy all of the movements in yoga. Excellent. Yeah. Improving the breathing is so valuable. I was talking to you about lots of things today, but the breathing is so important because it gives us energy. If we're breathing, if we're hunched and stressed and we're trying to breathe like this and we breathe in a very shallow way, we're not getting as much energy from our breathing as if we were, upright and increasing the capacity of the lungs and allowing them to expand. So I'm very happy to hear that you notice that your breathing is better. That's fantastic. Noelia is here. Hi, Noelia. Thank you for the information you give us in every single video. You're welcome. You're welcome. I know I have inundated everybody with information during the month of April because I have been doing these daily short videos about yoga for bigger bodies. That series finishes today. And by the way, if you haven't already seen today's video, please make sure and go and watch it because I'm giving you a promo code so that you can come and take a class with me or with my team if you prefer. But now that you've gotten through all of the videos of the whole month and all about yoga for bigger bodies, I wanted to invite everyone to come and take a live class. So please look for that video and find that promo code so you can come. Okay. Yeah, I read Jazzy's comment from earlier. Anne says, I get it. Through yoga, I am becoming more grateful for what I have and wanting less. Yeah, absolutely. And that too, I think, is an extension of the mindfulness of being conscious, being aware of everything we have in our life, the blessings that we have in our lives, a roof over our heads, enough food to eat, all of that. And, when we're mindful about it, then only can we become grateful for the things we have rather than just taking everything for granted. Mm-hmm. Lisa says, hello. Hi, Lisa. I spoke with Lisa yesterday. Amy says, I really need to work on mindful eating. Thank you so much for talking about this. You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah, and Amy, you've been practicing for a while, so you're ready. Like you can go and, prepare your next meal and you're ready to do this. You can, put your plate of food in front of you, have your beverage of choice. When we eat mindfully, it's nice to even make the plate be attractive. So maybe you make sure that it has plenty of color. You can also think about the textures of the food, because if we have, for example, a bowl of oatmeal and it's all mushy, it gets a little bit boring in your mouth. But if you add some granola to it or a berry or nuts or something, it adds different flavors and textures and it makes it more appealing in your mouth. Yeah, this is a fun topic. I love thinking about mindful eating. I love, Jazzy Sky says, I love your nighttime yoga and makes my body and mind feel great before bed. Fantastic. Very good. I've been on this nighttime theme lately. So I did that nighttime yoga video. And then I did an evening yoga video last week. And on Monday's video is going to be about, it's also for the evening. It's letting go of your workday so that you can like be present and have a relaxing and peaceful evening. So keep an eye out for that one. And you might like it too. Oh, so much talking today. Okay, will there be another morning yoga video? Okay, Lisa, I will add it to my list. Give me a second. Maybe it'll be nice to make a little bit of a longer morning yoga video, one that's a little bit more active. So I'll plan that. Thank you. Okay, so now let me get back to what I was talking about what I will and won't teach on this channel. Okay, here's another one that's a little bit tricky and a little bit nuanced and has me a little bit conflicted. So I don't know, it's like a fine line. So let me explain this next topic. This is about yoga for back pain. So as you know, I think I just mentioned, that in May, I'm doing a series of informational videos about yoga and back pain. Back pain, I think yoga for bigger bodies is one of the main things that people search when they come to my page. And the other main thing is yoga for back pain. So I know that this is a really important topic. I know a ton of people have back pain, but not all back pain is created equal, and not all yoga practices are appropriate for everybody. And I know some of you might be saying, but Zelinda, you made a yoga for back pain video at the beach a couple of months ago, and it's true. And I think I may even have called it level 1 and may have set the expectation for, I think I called it gentle, and then there was going to be a moderate. But then I had some second thoughts about that, and so I never created the next level video. That one video that's out there is kind of like that intro to pranayama video that I did about the introduction of breathing practice that can be safe for just about everybody. So that gentle yoga for back pain video is a very gentle one. It doesn't get down onto the floor. It doesn't have even a full forward fold in it. It's very mild and safe for just about everybody. Beyond that, I don't feel that it's appropriate to put back pain videos on my channel. And let me explain a little bit why. And I'll get into this more. If you subscribe, what is it called? You subscribe to the channel and click the notification thing so that you receive the notifications of the new videos that I post. Sorry, I'm going on a little bit of a tangent. You can also find those back pain videos on my Instagram page and my Facebook page. And so on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and you can, of course, find them wherever is easiest for you. But anyway, in those videos, I'll go into detail about all the different types of back pain, or at least like the major ones, and talk about what the condition is. And then if you have that condition, what you need to know for your yoga practice. And I recognize that everyone who's on here, on my YouTube channel, mostly just practices with my videos. And not very many of my YouTube audience also practice with me live in my classes or come to me for coaching, or yoga therapy, the one-on-one sessions. So where was I going with that sentence? So the back pain, is very individual. Like, for example, a person may have bulging discs in their spine. If they have bulging discs, they need to keep some key things in mind for their yoga practice. Not every yoga practice is going to be appropriate. If you have osteoporosis, this is a different kind of problem in your, it could be anywhere in your body actually, but that's a different kind of yoga practice than the person who has bulging discs. If you have spinal stenosis, this is a different set of considerations. There are, an unlimited number of issues that you may have going on in your spine. And so I can't just make a one-size-fits-all yoga for back pain and expect it to help everybody. It's not going to. When we get into back pain, if it's muscular, okay, yes, probably, there can be some practices that will help you. But if there's something actually going on with your spine or with your discs, your bones, that all requires special considerations. Let me pause here for a second and see what's going on over here. Do I teach inversion poses? Okay, let me get to that in just a minute. Where were we? Okay, so yeah, in this series of videos, I'll be talking about all these different conditions and then what you need to keep in mind. If you're practicing with my YouTube videos and you have back pain, certainly, please watch the video. That way you can know a little more information about how to adjust the practice, what changes to make so that the practice is safe and beneficial for you. If you have a number of things going on in your back, or if you have severe back pain, it might be a good idea to schedule at least one session with me. That way we can have, a one-on-one conversation and look into it in more detail so I can provide you more specific guidance about how to adjust your yoga practice. Or you may actually want to work with me one-on-one for a little while so that we can start to work on your back pain and start to get it under control. And this is, this is not, there's different, I don't know how to say this. There's different kinds of yoga instructors. There are fitness type yoga instructors. There are flow-based yoga instructors. There's all kinds of yoga teachers. I've studied and become a yoga teacher, but also I've studied and I'm a yoga therapist. So I can create practices specific for different issues, things that you've got going on in your body, specific goals that you're working on in your life. So, if you're interested in that kind of thing, I just want you to know that I do that, and you can email me and we can set up a consultation if that's something that you're interested in. And that brings to mind, going back to what I was mentioning earlier about these videos that I'm doing for May, you may have bulging discs and you may also have osteoporosis. And so, then you have, if you have multiple issues going on in your spine, it could be a good idea to have a talk with me so that it's not just a matter of like eliminate these poses and then you have a set that works for you. No, we need to take in mind both conditions together and then figure out what exactly is appropriate and beneficial for you and safe. Okay. Hopefully this is all making sense and isn't too weird. I know it's a very different kind of discussion. It's a very different kind of discussion, and it's interesting too because I know that I could put up videos on yoga for meditation or yoga for back pain, and I'd get a bunch of views and I'd get new subscribers, but I have to, ethically decline to do those things because I'm not interested just in views and subscribers. I'm interested in helping people and certainly not harming people. So I have to differentiate in that way. Okay, let me come back here and check out these comments. This is great. We can schedule you for our certain purposes. Yeah, absolutely. Anne says, I have some diagnosed spine problems, but now I know the warning signs before I run into problems when I move. Yeah, that's great. And if you have started your yoga practice gently, and if you have been practicing for a while and you're developing good body awareness, then you naturally may be able to figure out the correct modifications for yourself. But not everybody has such great body awareness that they can do that. So, I'm here if you need help. Okay, actually, I had some warning signs with your back pain video because of my particular issues. Yeah, no problems. Interesting. Okay, I could do the back pain video now because I know how to adjust. Yeah, that's great. And thank you for that feedback. Very good. Okay, so I think that captures about everything that I wanted to talk about. These are the main things: breathing, meditation, weight loss, and back pain. Those are kind of like some of the main topics that I won't get into in great detail on my channel. And another kind of category of stuff that I won't put on my channel is very advanced level practice that is going to intimidate people who are new to yoga. Because if you remember what I talked about in the beginning, is that this channel is meant to be a place for people to help people get started with yoga. So if I put advanced level content on there, it may intimidate and scare people, and I don't want that. And I just remembered, I think it was Amy, somebody asked me a little while ago about inversions. Oh yeah, it was Amy. They always seem so dangerous to me, especially for those of us who have a bigger body. This is a great question. So I do teach inversions all the time. I teach safe inversions like downward facing dog and bridge pose. Extending the legs up toward the ceiling is also considered to be an inversion. But I know what you're really referring to are the more risky, the fancier, the ones that are more like Instagrammable kind of inversions, like headstand and shoulder stand and handstands and arm balancing and stuff like that. I have taught those. I do teach those when it's appropriate for the people who are practicing with me. But given that I don't know who's watching my YouTube videos, I'm not going to teach. I'm not going to teach that on my channel. A long time ago, actually, I did do a long time ago, maybe like 10 years ago, I did a quick video about how to do headstand. I may have taken it down by now. I'm not sure. I'll have to go check. And I may have also done a quick video. I can't remember if I ever posted it about how to do handstand. Headstand is part of my practice. I do that sometimes, but I've been doing it for years and years and years. And, even at my current body size and shape, I can still do it in a safe way. And I one time spent an entire year learning how to do handstand, and I did it on, where did I put? I think I posted them on Facebook. Every single day for a year, I did a video or a photo about my process of learning how to do handstand. And that was really fun. And I got so strong and my forearms became huge when I was learning that, because you don't realize, when you stand on your feet, how much you're using your toes and your feet and your ankles and your lower legs to help you balance. And you have to do the same thing when you're on your hands. I didn't know that before I tried it, but you use a lot of finger strength, and then you use your forearms to help you stay in your inverted position. But yes, Amy, if you're interested in more inversions, there's plenty of benefits to doing inversions. I'd be happy to talk to you about that. Maybe we'll do it inside of Patreon. We'll see. Okay, Soph is here. Do I have classes at this time? So I have online classes at this time. And you're in Pflugerville, which is a neighbor town to mine in Texas. And I am starting. I'll hear those sirens near a freeway. I am starting to look into how and when to reopen now that the vaccines are available and people are really starting to become vaccinated. I think we're getting closer to the point where we can start working on reopening our physical space. So you're welcome, Soph, to join us for online classes. The way we do them is the classes are, so this is, all the times are in Central Time. We have classes every day of the week at 9 a.m. And then we also have some classes at 10:30 and some at noon. And when you sign up for a class, well, how do I explain this in a clear way? When you sign up for a class, like if you buy a class pack, we have class packs of 5 or 10 classes. If you sign up for a class pack and then you register for a class, you can attend the class live, of course, but then also we send you the recording to the class. So if you're not available, for example, at 9 o'clock, you can do it when you're available at 6 in the evening or, whatever time you want to do it. And the other way that people sign up for our classes is by becoming members at the studio. And when you're a member, then you have unlimited classes. You can sign up for every single class if you want to. And you get recordings, you get access to a folder with the recordings of all of the classes that we've had in the prior 30 days. All of these classes are an hour long. I teach 3 classes per week. I teach on Monday at noon, and then on Wednesday I teach at 9. That's my moderate class. And at 10:30 is my Yoga for Bigger Bodies class. And then I have a staff of teachers, and all the other days of the week they teach. So that's how our online classes are working right now. And I just made yesterday a new webpage to better explain the different things that I do. So I need to make a couple of more edits, but after I finish that today, I'll post the link to that new page in the description box of this live stream so that you can go and look at that. And that'll link you directly to our class. Well, I'm not sure where it'll send you for membership, but you can see about how to attend classes, our live classes. Yeah. Okay, good. Very good. All right. Any other questions about, or any other requests for videos that you'd like me to make, and then I can tell you whether or not I can make them for you. While I wait for y'all to type that, in case anyone wants to type anything, I'm going to mention one other thing. So I have a Patreon. I don't know what you call it. You say I have a Patreon, or is it called a Patreon page? I'm not sure. I have a Patreon community. How's that? I have a Patreon, which you may have heard of Patreon before, but it's a place where the, how do you call this? Like the subscribers or the viewers of my content can go, and it kind of has different purposes. It's a way to support creators. So I have a program. I don't have language for any of this, I'm sorry, but I have a community, I guess that's a better word, a community on Patreon, and a Patreon-based offering to help the people who really enjoy my content get a little bit more out of it. So I make a monthly practice calendar. It's a clickable calendar that tells you, I plan it, strategically, and it tells you which video to do each day of the month, and it has kind of a sequence and a purpose of the way that it's designed. So that's there inside of my Patreon. I also make some advanced level videos for my Patreon followers that I don't share publicly on YouTube. So if you're someone who is interested in starting to step up your practice, you might like to join me there. There's also a private Facebook group, so you can more easily communicate with me when you have questions. And all the community members also very nicely support each other, so that's an added bonus. And I want to say there's one more thing. Oh yes, and I do a monthly live stream with my patrons, but it's not on YouTube. I do it on Zoom so that we can more easily see each other and communicate with each other. So if that sounds like something that might be interesting for you, oh, it's actually a really good time to sign up, because Patreon bills people at the start of the month. So tomorrow would be the best day, because it's the 1st of May, to go and sign up on Patreon. You'll get my calendar for May and all of those other things that I talked about. And then you can be part of the Patreon community. Yeah. All right. Let me see. I think someone typed something here. Do I have a video to help with muscle strength in pelvic and hip muscles? Let me think about that. I don't. All of the videos will help in some regard, working on strength. Definitely in the hips. Pelvic floor is something, I'm thinking you're talking about pelvic floor. It's a little bit different, and I may be able to do a video on that. Let me write that down and think about it. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm helping someone with this right now in private instruction in my one-on-one work. And yeah, it can, the thing with the pelvic floor work, the hip is a little different, but the thing with pelvic floor and actually the whole pelvis is that it's very subtle work. You need very specific details about how to do it. You need to be able to ask questions to make sure that you're doing it right, because oftentimes what happens is that the muscles won't respond, and then you have to use some different strategies in order to get the muscles to do something. So this, yeah, I may be able to do some kind of a general sort of video, but probably you'd get more benefit with more specific instruction, which you would need to work with me one-on-one for. So yeah, that's there. Do I offer videos for core strengthening? I think I do have a video for core strengthening, Mary. I will send it to you. I'm just writing it down so I won't forget. Yeah, and you can also work on core strengthening in all of your practices by being conscious about your abdominal muscles and encouraging them to participate. And in fact, the core muscles are another set of muscles that sometimes don't communicate well with the brain. And so we are thinking, I'm going to engage my abdominal muscles, or I'm going to, yeah, it's mainly the abdominal muscles. I'm going to engage my abdominal muscles, and then the muscles won't respond. They're not doing anything. And so there's some, extra tips and strategies that you can work on there. But again, this is something that is more individual, like it would be much more beneficial to work on it one-on-one. So yeah, I'll send you the core strengthening video, and then if you want more information, let me know, and then we'll go from there. Okay, great. I moved away from my hometown, and now I don't have my therapist anymore for that. Oh, good. Yeah, so you've been seeing a therapist for that already. Yeah, and pelvic floor issues are so common. We see issues of muscles being too tight and muscles being like unresponsive or too loose. And so, you know, it is also great to get some guidance from the physical therapist or the physiotherapist to, you know, to know where to start. And in fact, you often will work with a therapist first, and then they say, okay, you're doing well enough now, you don't need to see me anymore. And that's the point where oftentimes people will start working on their yoga practice to continue, you know, with their muscle work. Yeah. Okay, very good. I think that's all for today, everybody. Do y'all have any lingering questions? Okay, thank you all for being here and hanging out with me. I feel like I have been talking a mile a minute. I hope this has been understandable and also helpful and interesting. I'm gonna log off here and go. You can see I really have this top of mind, my yoga for back pain videos. I want to try to record all of those before I leave here tomorrow, so that they're gonna laugh at me, so that they'll all have the same background and look cohesive as a set of videos. So anyway, that's what I'm going to go do now in just a minute. You're most welcome. You're most welcome. All right, everybody. Thank you again for being here. Have a great day. Come back later if you can and look at that new webpage that I created. I'll post the link in the description of this live stream, and then you can know all about all the different kinds of work that I do. All right. Have a good one. I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.